So, good day everyone. We are the last reporter, and today we are going to identify appropriate test statistics. Don't worry because it's so easy. So, the first one is test statistics. So, what is test statistics? So, test statistics is a random variable that is calculated from sample data. It is used in a hypothesis test to help researchers decide whether to accept or reject the null hypothesis. In simple terms, it helps us determine if the sample data provides enough evidence about the population. Central limit theorem. In central limit theorem, if the population is normally distributed or the sample size is large and the true population mean mu equals to mu sub 0, then Z has a standard normal distribution. When the sample size is extremely large and the variance is unknown, the sample standard deviation may be used as an estimate of the population standard deviation when the value of O is unknown. So, in the central limit theorem, if the population is normally distributed or kung ang sample size kay dako na and the true population mean mu is equals to mu sub 0, then Z has a standard normal distribution. This means that if we take many samples from a population, bisan dili normal ang original population, the distribution of the sample means mahimong normal gyapon when the sample size is large enough. When the sample size is extremely large and the variance is unknown, researchers can still continue their statistical analysis bisan wala nato kabalo sa exact population variance. We can estimate it. The sample standard deviation may be used as an estimate of the population standard deviation when the value of standard deviation is unknown. Sa simple nga pagsabot, we use the data from the sample para ma-estimate ang value sa population. In simple terms, the central limit theorem helps researchers understand that kung daghan ang samples nga kuwaon, the results will tend to form a normal distribution which makes statistical analysis mas ayon og mas reliable. So the next one is the z-test. So a z-test is used when the sample size is large, usually 30 or more, and when the population standard deviation is known. It can also be used when the sample size is 30 or more even if the standard deviation is not known. Because of the central limit theorem, which states that the sampling distribution becomes approximately normal when the sample size is large. So lastly, we have the t-test. A t-test is used when the sample size is small, usually less than 30, and the population standard deviation is not known. In this case, we use the sample standard deviation. So kani siya guys kay ang t-test is less unlike sa z-test. So kay ang z-test man kay large, the ang t-test kay small.
Good day everyone. So manana og review sa lipas sa mga z-test, t-test, mga ganyan. So today I'm going to give an example para mas makuan jud siya kung saan pag-identify if ang statistic na test kung t-test ba na siya or nasulod ba na siya sa z-test. So let's go. Example number 1. A manufacturer claimed that the average life of batteries used in their electronic games is 150 hours. It is known that the standard deviation of this type of battery is 20 hours. A consumer wished to test the manufacturer's claim and accordingly test 100 electronic games using the battery. It was found out that the mean is equal to 144 hours. Identify the appropriate test statistic to be used. So, to identify the appropriate test statistic to be used kung z-test ba siya or t-test, atong first is atong know kung ang atong sample size is greater than or equal to 30 siya or less than 30. So, makita nato dira sa third na sentence, a consumer wished to test the manufacturer's claim and accordingly tested 100 electronic games using the battery. So 100 man siya, it means ang atong sample size is greater than or equal to 30. Next is the standard deviation. So sa atuang second sentence na makita nato dira, it is known that the standard deviation of this type of battery is 20 hours. So known daw ang atong standard deviation. Okay, so atong standard deviation again is known. So maggamit ta og z-test kay greater than or equal to 30 man siya, and then ang standard deviation niya is known. So we're gonna use the z-test. Example number 2. An English teacher wanted to test whether the mean read speed of student is 550 words per minute. A sample of 12 students revealed a sample mean of 540 words per minute with a standard deviation of 5 words per minute. At 0.05 significance level, is the reading speed different from 550 words per minute? Example 2, identify na pod nato. So, ang sample niya is, makita na to sa second sentence, a sample of 12 students. So, 12 students means ang atong sample size is less than 30. Next is, let us know that our standard deviation is known ba or our standard deviation is not known. So, as you can see, kaning sa second sentence, a standard deviation of 5 words per minute. Kana siya is not that clearly na kuan standard deviation na siya na ano jud kay kuan man na siya good standard deviation sample. It's just an sample, so our standard deviation is not known. So kay our sample size is less than 30 and then our standard deviation is not known, so we're gonna use the statistical t-test. Example number 3, a study was conducted to look at the average type students exercise. A researcher claimed that in average, students exercise less than 15 hours per month. In a random sample size n equals 115, it was found that the mean time students exercise is 11.3 hours per month with S equals 6.43 hours per month. So example number 3 has greater than or equal to 30 ang iyang sample size. Kaya makita nato dira sa last sentence, in a random sample size n equals 115. So ang iyang sample size is greater than or equal to 30. Next is ang standard deviation niya is known ba or not known. So let's take a look if known ba standard deviation. Okay. Our standard deviation is not known since wala man dira ibutang, right? Tama ba? So ang atong gamiton to identify the statistic test is ang z-test, since greater than or equal to 30 siya, and then ang standard deviation is not known. So makita man na nato sa central limit theorem. So we're gonna use the z-test. Example number 4. It is claimed that the average age of working students in a certain university is 35. A researcher selected a random sample of 25 working students. The computation of their ages resulted to an average of 32 years with standard deviation of 10 years. So in this example 4, let us know our sample size. So makita man nato diano sa second sentence, our researcher selected a random sample of 25 working students. So 25. So ang ato ang sample size is less than 30 since 25 man ang iyang gisample ng mga working students. Next is ang iyang standard deviation. Pakitaon na to if known ba or not known in this example 4. So this is the average age researchers said. So ang atong standard deviation is not known since wala man dira gingon, no. So, ang atong gamiton na statistical test is ang t-test. Why man? Again, t-test kay ang iyang sample size is less than 30 and then ang standard deviation is not known. Kaya t-test ang gagamitin. The next one is example 5 and you will be the one who will answer this. Try to answer this. Pause this video, then try to answer this. Dali Ermani. Okay, again, pause the video and try to answer it. For the checking, because I know that you were curious if sakto ang imong answer. So, example 5, ang sample size niya is less than 30. Siyempre kay 28 man ang iyang sample of these tires. So 28, it means that the sample size is less than 30. Then, ang standard deviation is, ano sa answer? Okay. Our standard deviation is known. Okay, sa last part, last sentence, assume that the population standard deviation is 3,000. So, standard deviation is known. So, unsa man tong gamiton? Okay, less than 30 man siya, ang sample size, ang standard deviation niya is known. So, what statistical tests are we going to use? Okay, we're going to use the z-test. So, I'm proud of you if correct yung answer and if dili and wala po try. So, our reporting ended here and I hope